Hi guys, excuse my voice today, got a bit of a sore throat today. Today we're looking at this Sony portable DAT recorder. This model number is a TCD-D8 and it's dated around about 1994, 1995. There were a number of TCD models which looked very similar to this, similar size. The models, I put some pictures up on the screen, but the models were the TCD-D3, which came out in 1991, and then the TCD-D7, 1993, TCD-D8, which is this one. This is very similar to the D7, and then there was the TCD-D100, which launched in 1997. I normally put videos up of faults which people are generally going to see, you know, something where they would search for it and find my video and be of some use. This one is not going to be very useful, I don't think, other than the fact that I can show you around this unit for those who haven't seen one before, and inside it as well. But the fault of this, I don't think anyone else is going to see this same problem. So I bought this off eBay. The listing said it was untested, and it powers up. It will accept a tape and everything looks fine, but when you go to press play, it looks as though it's going to play, and then a second or two later it just resets, the power resets and it stops. It goes into sleep mode, which is this, by the way. So this is sleep mode, where it shows the time on the front. When you power it up, we'll do that now. It opens up, and also it sort of says no tape there. So this is the wake state, and when you put it onto hold, it instantly goes into sleep mode. Now, like I said, I did put a tape in it. I've got some tapes here, and it loads the tape. It looks as though it's going to play, and then it just immediately goes back to sleep mode again. Now, I'm not going to put the tape in again and show you that, because I don't want to risk any more damage happening to the machine, because I will show you what I've noticed inside. So the lid on this, well, let's have a quick look around it first. So we've got a manual record level. That's for when the switch is set to manual. There's two other positions here, which is speech and music, and they're auto record level. We've got a line in, got a mic in, headphone jack. Headphone jack can be line out as well. We've got a switch here for mic sensitivity, high and low. There's our DC power jack, 6 volts. This, I believe, is for an external remote control, which I don't have. On this side, we've got our sampling frequency. We've got 48 kilohertz, 44 kilohertz, and LP for long play. I'm not sure what the sampling rate is on long play, but it's going to be less than 44 kilohertz. Setting for our line out here, so it can be phones or line out. Volume, main power switch, and then on the front here we've got, you can set our clock, counter. We've got a light, so we switch this on, and I'll turn the light off that I've got here. There's the backlight for the machine, which is quite nice. And then the usual transport controls on the front. So this eject mechanism does need power to eject. So if you have one of these and there's no batteries, got no power, there's a tape stuck in there, there's no way of getting that tape out. You need to apply power to the unit first, and then you slide this power switch over to the open position. And when you do that, it'll pop open. There's our transport inside. Now this is a helical scan playhead on this, which you can just see at the back there. It's very much like a VHS cassette recorder. It's a smaller head, but the mechanism and the way that it's designed there, the tape actually pulls around the head. So the idea of a helical scan is it doesn't just use the one portion of the tape vertically. So as the tape moves past the head in an audio cassette player, for example, it just uses that one vertical slice of tape that's going past the head. With a helical scan, it wraps the tape around that head drum, and it actually has a striped section of tape that lasts sort of, whatever the circumference of that head is. So it could be like this long and a striped section. So the idea of that is that you get a larger recording area for each frame or each bit that you're recording. It uses a longer piece of tape than actually the width of the tape itself. The tape is quite narrow. I think it's 4mm, this tape. So yeah, it's quite incredible how they could pack that into a device this small, especially in 1991 or 1995 this one, but 1991 was the TCD-D8, and that used the same system. Now the problem with this, I don't know if you spotted it yet, I'll put it on the other camera so you can get a better look. So this is looking inside the unit through that door, and you've not spotted it yet. There at the back, that is the pinch roller, and it's just loose. It's just hanging around inside the mechanism. Now I have no idea how it became like that. I've tried tipping the machine up and it doesn't come out. It's wedged in there. But that is the issue with this. So this still uses the traditional pinch roller and capstan to pull the tape through, even though it's got the helical scan head, which you can see at the back there. It still uses that pinch roller to pull the tape, and it should be on this spindle here. That spindle just there is where that pinch roller should sit. It should be over this spindle here, and for some reason it's come off and got itself wedged in the back there. Now that is normally held on by a small plastic washer. There's a friction fit washer which sits on the top of that post and normally stops that capstan from moving, but for some reason it's in the back there. Very odd, not seen that before. Rest of the mechanism looks okay. I don't think it's suffered any other physical damage. So what I need to do is take this apart and see if we can refit that capstan. See if the missing washer as well is in there, so the little plastic washer might still be in there somewhere. Nice to see a clean battery compartment. I'm too used to seeing these after a leaked battery and they in a bad state. This one's very good. We need to remove this rear cover first. Tiny screws in this one. Metal this as well, metal covers. plastic. Battery compartment lid's plastic. So we might need to remove this board. For the moment, what I'll do is just remove the ribbon cable for that lid. Let's I'm going to need to power it up in order to open the lid. That was a mistake. Let's put these batteries back in. I can see right at the back there, the ribbon cable for this is pretty much in the center. So it's going to be this one. Oh, there's two there. It's going to be one of those. These connectors, the little tabs at the side, they just pull down towards the ribbon cable and it will release it. Make sure they're both pulled down and then the cable will just come out. Yeah, there's two there. I think it's this one, looking at the size. Let me just see if it'll move a little bit. Yeah, it's this one. Looks like there's just two screws on the lid. Be careful you don't nick that cable while you're pulling it out. These are easily ripped. If you get a little cut in the side, it will just tear right across. That's it. You can see the pinch roller there. Don't know how it's got in that position. Can't see a way of getting it out other than through the top by removing this, but it must have got there somehow. There doesn't seem to be enough room at the back for it to go past. That's got it. Just having a little look, see if I can see that washer can't see it. At the same time, I don't want it to be stuck somewhere in the mechanism and cause problems when it's back together. It's very small as well, it could be anywhere in there. So the pinch roller sits on that metal spindle there. When the tape's loaded, the pinch roller moves up. I assume that this is the capstan. This one in the corner there. And that the pinch roller moves upwards and clamps the tape between the capstan and the pinch roller. Just going to have a little look around this and see if I can see that washer. If not, I may have to source another one. I've had a good look round this mechanism and I can't see that washer anywhere in there. So it's either well jammed in a corner somewhere or it's fallen out. So I'm going to need to source another one. What I will do whilst this is all apart, we'll just place the pinch roller back on the spindle and we should be able to try it out. And you'll also be able to see that, that tape path working. We're going to need the front panel, so let's just temporarily connect that. So the unit thinks it's open at the moment, which is fine. There is a little catch here which locks in place when you close the lid, and I think without the lid we'll need to manually actuate that to release the tape, but as long as it thinks it's open at the moment, that should be fine. So let's lift this mechanism up. Without the lid, I'm going to need to hold this down. Okay, so it still thinks it's open, the lid there, even though I'm pressed the tape down, so there's a little catch that needs releasing here. That's it. Okay, so it thinks it's got a tape in now. Let's try play. And that is playing. There's no level on the display, so it's either a blank tape or there's something else wrong with the audio, which we don't know yet, but at least it's playing. You can't really see too much. I was hoping that you'd be able to see the tape getting taken in there around the mechanism, but there's not much room with this plate in place. You can see I don't know if you can see that spinning there, but that's the playhead. It spins very fast. Let's just stop and see if we can see it. So at the moment the tape is still loaded, it's still in here around the tape path. You can see the pinch roller there and the capstan, which is under this cover. Let's try the eject. Yeah, he might just saw quickly the tape getting taken in. Right, well, I need to source that washer, and then we can put this back together. I thought I would pull this board off the back, the main board, just to check and see whether that washer was in there, and it was. I took this board off, gave the mechanism a good shake on the desk, and it fell out, which is here. A little tiny plastic retainer there. So I'm going to put that back on, see what it's like. If it's a snug fit, then I will leave that one in there. But I'll just give you a quick look around this while it's apart. So this motor here that's on the angle, this is the head, the playhead, and that's the motor there. That's the disc motor. And this one next to it is a direct drive capstan. You can see the other cogs turning because it's driving the load mechanism as well, the capstan. To get this board off, by the way, I had to release the rest of the flat flexes, and then there was 4 screws on the corners. I had to unsolder these 2 wires here. These 2 wires just go to a smoothing capacitor, and just directly across the battery, I think, those ones. Yeah, the capacitor's just sat down there, so without these being removed, you can't get the board out very easily. Just have a little look around this board. Densely populated, surface mount, double-sided. There's a Burr Brown DAC there.
I'm gonna get an ANT&TECH 770 digital decoder with the 70 watt amps and Burr Brown DACs.
Yeah.
It's a big stereo.
Good quality digital to analog converters, those. I'll put this back together now, and we can see if the rest of the machine works. So we'll put this board back in first. There is one flat flex connector on the back. So if you're removing that board, just bear that in mind, that there's one on the back. Again, these connectors are the same. Just pull the tabs out, make sure that's in. Normally, a little white part of the flat flex disappears once it's in the correct distance. I don't know whether that's in properly or not. Let's just check. Yeah, I think that's right. That feels okay, that washer. There is some resistance on that, so hopefully that will stay in place. Yeah, it's not pulling off when I try and lift it. Okay, there's just the lid left now. Gonna run this flat flex back. The lid needs to be hooked onto these two little hooks that are sticking up there. That just links into the back of the metal there. So if you can see that, the far one is just hooking in. And the same with this one. Once they're in place, you can close the lid and put the screws in. This is back together now, so let's put a tape in. You see the display reads load and unload when you put a tape in and out, and that is it pulling the tape around the playheads, which is why I suspect you can't open this up manually, because if the tape was wrapped around the head, you tried to take the tape out, you'd have problems. The tape would be stuck in there. So the tape has to successfully unload properly before the lid can open. So I have an audio source here. We'll plug that into the line in. And this is the output to my bench speakers. So we'll plug this into the line out. We can preview the input level by pressing the record button. It won't actually start the tape. We'll just monitor the input level. And we can see the level there. This is currently set to auto record level. If I set it to manual, then I can use the manual record level to get the level we want. Now to record this, we press pause, and it'll go to record and pause, and then we press pause again and it will start recording. So let's count as already 0. Okay, we'll stop that. A few seconds of recording. Let's rewind. Oh, too far. It's quick. Okay, let's try it there. So we'll remove the input source, and we've just got the line out. Perfect. That seems to be working fine. This has been a successful repair. It does look as though the only issue with this was that pinch roller that was kicking around inside. I've really no idea how that came about, and like I said, I don't expect any of you watching this to be having the same problem. I think it's quite unique that that's occurred, or at the very least I've not seen anything like that happen with a cassette deck before. But I hope you've enjoyed the look around it and the look inside. This is yeah, it's a nice piece of kit. It's heavy. I weighed this before with the batteries. It's just over 0.5 kilograms, 511 grams. So it's not lightweight. You know, even though it's a Walkman brand, it's probably something that you wouldn't carry around with you on your belt. It's yeah, it's quite a weight. Plus, I don't know what the battery life is on this. That's helical scan head, I would imagine, uses quite a bit of power, so I don't think the battery life is going to be great on this. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a like for me, and I will see you on the next one.